Hi, I'm Caitlin, and this is Book Chats. I thought I would do the Epic Reads tag, which was created by the Epic Reads Tea Time crew. No one tagged me, I just tagged myself, which I hope is allowed. Basically, I just thought it was a fun tag and had cool questions, and so here we go. Basically, I would use this as an opportunity to ask the questions I wanted answers to. So right now, I really want to talk to Louisa May Alcott, and I want to ask her a bunch of questions both about Little Women, but also, I don't know if you've read into kind of the life of Louisa May Alcott, but there's a lot of theories swirling around about her writing and her happiness and other things, and so I just want to quiz her. And which character would I invite to tea? I think I would invite Amy, because I have some questions about some of the things that happen in the end of Little Women, but I really want to know if she's okay. And what would I serve them? I don't really know, tea things? Tea and some little sandwiches and biscuits and scones and clotted cream, I guess? I mean, I'm not so picky. Whatever they would want to eat. I really loved Margot's idea for a prequel to Divergent about Triss's parents. That would be awesome. When I was thinking, it was really hard for me to find a series that I actually want a prequel for that doesn't already have a prequel. So what I kind of decided is it's not really a prequel, but I would love to read a companion novel to Serafina that covers some of the same events, but is written from the viewpoint of Princess Griselda. I'm actually totally stealing this idea from my little sister. I thought about this, and immediately one of the things is that a lot of the books I read will have an OTP kind of couple, and I ship really hard. OTP stands for one true pairing. Shipping is being a fan of that, and so I would not want to break up any couples that are already there. I ended up thinking, who never gets people in books, and it's usually the bad characters, and so I just had this idea. What if the Darkling from the Grisha trilogy by Leigh Bardugo and the White Witch from the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis were a thing? If you've watched my top 5 authors I'd like to meet video, you'll know that my favorite author is Melina Marchetta, and you'll also know that when I meet authors that I really like, usually just say really dumb things. I think I would just say, Melina Marchetta, thank you for writing The Piper's Son. It has been incredibly meaningful to me. I had to write this down because I wanted it to be... The book that specifically made me a reader, this is going to sound super cheesy, but my parents used this book called Teach Your Child to Read in the 100 Easy Lessons to teach me and my younger sister how to read. And since then, it's just been ever since I read a ton. Here's the thing about my books. All of my books are replaceable. The wonderful thing about books is that you can get them in many different formats, you can get different ones, and it would cost me a ton of money to replace my library, but it would be okay. But there's one book, let's see if I can find it. I used to have a book club where we would each choose a book, and then we would read it and write comments in the margins, and then we'd mail it to the next person in the list. They would read it and write comments in the margin, they would mail it to the next person, and eventually it would get back to you. The book that I got back was this book that has notes from my friends and from myself in it, and so I'll try to find a good example. So here, there's 4 or 5 notes. Difficult because just by definition, dystopian are the opposite of utopian, which means they're crappy. And there's a lot of dystopian worlds I would not want to live in. A lot of dystopians are extra terrible for women. They're crappy for everyone, but they're super crappy for women. So if I had to pick a dystopian world to live in, I kind of was thinking, and I hope this qualifies as a dystopian, and I'm also going to say that I've only read the first book. So if you finish this trilogy and you're oh, you think it's good, but it's actually super sucky, feel free to tell me. If I had to choose a dystopian to live in, I would live in the Selection series worlds. Even if I didn't get chosen for the Selection, where I'd be The Bachelorette, The Bachelor, I feel it'd be okay. It's a tie for me between the Lord of the Rings trilogy / book and Dune by Frank Herbert. I'm redoing my tags because I filmed this a while ago, so I wanted to tag Lainey from Ginger Reads Lainey, Morgan from Little Word Weaver, and my friend Rebecca, who blogs at East 82nd Street. If I didn't list you, but you'd like to do this, tag, you're it. Oh, and the last thing we're supposed to do is a book shimmy, which I think is just this.